summer days, distancing in masks. We've been working overtime on academic tasks, so we can bring you labs and lectures online everywhere. It's great to have you here, although you're there. The Kresge lot is empty, there are no lines or cafe spice. The flag football and dodgeball teams have all been put on ice. No loving parents, sad goodbyes, no moving day fanfare. It's great to have you here, although you're there. Pity men's and Manu's all alone. One's run out of books to read, one's lost muscle tone. Though 3/4 of our students have to learn apart, we will gamely persevere with mind, hand, and heart. You may not need a dining plan or even campus maps. For now the trip from bed to class is closer than your laps. Spend your cash on League of Legends, not on transit fares. It's great to have you here, although you're there. Now rest assured the time will come when this pandemic's beat, and once again it's safe to gather out on Amherst Street. We'll hear the great dome echoing a long and mighty cheer, and we'll all feel greater 'cause we're here. Yeah, we'll all feel greater 'cause we're here.
As you can see, I'm speaking to you from Killian Court. Well, kind of. In fact, I'm keenly aware that I'm not there and that only a fraction of our undergraduates and their families are here on campus. This year, because of the pandemic, orientation is different, and almost everything else feels different too. COVID-19 has changed how we teach and learn, how we conduct research, how we collaborate, and how we build community. But it has not changed who we are, and it will never change what we believe. I hope you'll forgive me as I share a brief story to you to give you a sense of what I mean. In 1980, I arrived in Cambridge as a junior faculty member in electrical engineering and computer science, wondering what in the world I had gotten myself into. I was excited when I arrived, but also anxious. I knew almost no one. I was very far from home. I wasn't sure ahead what it would take to succeed. And every time I opened my mouth, I worried about my accent. In case you're wondering, what you're hearing is not a Boston accent. I grew up 2,000 miles south of here in Caracas, Venezuela, where on a really cold day, the temperature drops to 63 degrees Fahrenheit. And so yes, I was particularly worried about how I would manage in Cambridge when it started to snow. If any of my concerns sound familiar, I want you to know that all of them, all of those anxious moments I spent wondering if I had made the right decision, and if MIT had made the right decision, and if I would fit in, and if I could make it here, all of them disappeared very quickly. At MIT, I discovered a community of students, faculty, researchers, and staff who were a lot like me. They were curious, they asked questions, they were passionate, they liked to tinker. Many of them came from somewhere else. A lot of them spoke English with an accent, and all of them cared about helping each other and society. I felt I had finally come home. That was the MIT I found when I arrived decades ago, and I'm proud to say that it is still the MIT I know today, an intense concentration of the boldest, most innovative, most curious, and most generous people I have ever known. And we still believe that knowledge and creativity have the power to change the world, to invent solutions to society's most serious challenges. Our mission directs us to develop in each member of the MIT community the ability and passion to work wisely, creatively, and effectively for the betterment of humankind. Of course, this year we will have to work extra wisely, extra creatively, and extra effectively to overcome the challenge of COVID-19. It won't be easy. There will be bumps along the way. But for 40 years, I've watched our community face challenges and overcome them together by listening to each other, by learning from each other, and by caring for one another. Some of you watching are just beginning your MIT adventure, not at MIT, or you may be the parent of an MIT first year who for some reason is still living with you. Some of you are second or third year students excited for the new semester but longing to be back here with the friends and faculty you love. And some of you, including our seniors, are back and wondering how this strange semester will unfold. Before we knew the word COVID, this is not how any of us could have imagined the start of this new academic year. And none of us expect the rest of 2020 to be easy. But given our community's exceptional efforts since March, I feel confident that this new journey can succeed if we all stand by the science, look out for each other, and go out of our way to do the right thing for the good of all. If we do, I believe we will find great meaning and satisfaction in having endured this historic test together. For those of you who are new to MIT, we are immensely fortunate that you have chosen to join us. And to all of you, I wish you the very best of success with the challenges of this unusual semester. I earnestly hope that you and your loved ones can stay healthy and safe. And with all my heart, I look forward to the day when we can be together again, the old-fashioned way, right here at MIT. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce MIT's Chancellor, Cynthia Barnhart. Cindy?
Thank you, Rafael. Welcome, everyone. My name is Cynthia Barnhart, and I am MIT's Chancellor and a Ford Foundation Professor of Engineering. I'm coming to you today from my remote MIT office. I often get asked by our first-year students and their families, what does a chancellor do? Well, at MIT, the tagline for my office is all things students. That means that it's my job and the job of my colleagues to help all students get the most out of your student life and learning experience. Two of the colleagues I work most closely with are ones you'll get to know well too. Vice Chancellor for Undergraduate and Graduate Education, Ian Waits, and Vice President and Dean for Student Life, Susie Nelson. Ian's office oversees aspects of your MIT experience like admissions, financial aid, the first year experience, advising, and professional development. Susie's division of student life includes offices responsible for student support, housing and dining, athletics, diversity and community, student activities and leadership, and religious life. Their offices, along with the Institute Discrimination and Harassment Response Office, make up the Office of the Chancellor. I know that I speak for everyone on Team Chancellor, that's what we call ourselves for short, when I say that the start of this academic year is bittersweet. We all wish we could be together in person to celebrate this moment of beginnings and possibilities, the hallmarks of late August on our campus and campuses across the country. I met with the first-year students I advised recently, and they said they understand our decision to limit the number of students on campus this fall, that it's motivated by our concern and care for keeping everyone safe. But nonetheless, they are understandably disappointed and worried about how they will meet people and make friends. The other thing that makes this hard is that the journey we're about to embark on together is an uncharted, uncertain one. It will demand a lot from all of us, and it will require sacrifices and determination to see our way through. That's the bitter part. Now here's the sweet part. No matter what, this is MIT, and we are in this together. Whether you are on campus in Cambridge or studying remotely from nearby or far away, MIT is a strong, close-knit community, and nothing will ever change that. Lifelong friendships will be forged this year just like they are every other year. You will bond over your shared love for hands-on, experiential learning and making something that's quintessentially MIT, and that we've worked hard to make available to all students. Whether you are remote or on campus, everyone will have access to a paid undergraduate research, teaching, or service opportunity with a stipend up to $1,900. I have no doubt that you will find common ground over your creativity, your knack for solving the unsolvable, and your shared experience of having weathered this storm together. And here's something else that the pandemic can't change. We have a really big student support network that is all about encouraging you to take care of your physical and mental health and being there for you in good times and bad. This network is made up of all of us you will hear from today. It's your faculty, student leaders, and administrators. It's also made up of really caring, talented individuals who aren't addressing you this morning, but who I know are tuning in and cheering us all on. Your heads of house, area directors, and graduate resident advisors. The deans at S-Cubed and counselors at Student Mental Health and Counseling Services, the coaches and wellness instructors at DAPER, our Department of Athletics, Physical Education, and Recreation, the teams from Mind, Hand, Heart and Accessing Resources MIT Coalition, the chaplains in the Office of Religious, Spiritual, and Ethical Life. At MIT, we don't think that asking for help should be hard. You shouldn't have to wonder about where you can turn. To make it easy, we've created a new website at ask.mit.edu. Your peers have helped us create this resource. It's our new virtual well-being front desk. Think of it as a place that makes asking questions and seeking help really easy. Please, don't hesitate to just ask. Now here's something there can be no questions about. This semester is going to require all of us, whether we are on campus or off, to look out for one another's health and safety. To our on-campus students and to those living nearby off campus, I want to be clear. We are depending on you. You can help keep MIT open and increase the likelihood that more of us can be on campus this spring if you follow the protective rules and guidelines we put in place to ensure our community's well-being. Unfortunately, the news these days is filled with stories about college outbreaks following close contact gatherings. We can all see how these things happen and why, but we all need to pull together from 6 feet apart and while wearing face coverings to make sure we don't endanger each other at MIT. That's true whether you live on campus, near campus, or somewhere else together. At MIT, we follow the science. We believe the researchers. We understand that the virus spreads through close contact with other people. We know that no one is immune from COVID-19. Most of all, at MIT, we don't put other community members at risk, not our friends, not our faculty or instructors, not the staff who support us, not our neighbors. So please be part of the solution and help us invent a future when we can all be together again. I'm looking forward to that day, and I'm counting on the strength, conscientiousness, empathy, and care of each and every MIT community member to get us there. I am delighted to be able to welcome you to MIT, and I can't wait to see you as soon as it is safe for all of us to be together again. It's now my pleasure to introduce MIT's amazing president of the Undergraduate Association, Danielle Geathers. Take it away, Danielle.
Hello, first years and parents. Congratulations and welcome to MIT. As a president of the Undergraduate Student Government, which is also known as the Undergraduate Association, I am very excited to be with you today and invite you to explore and discover MIT through the Undergraduate Association lens. Historically, first years have had the opportunity to get involved in making change at MIT, and I am confident that this will continue, even in our virtual environment. As a rising junior in Course 2, which translates to mechanical engineering, I have found myself truly drinking from the proverbial MIT fire hose, and I encourage you to take the necessary time to decompress throughout the school year and value the hundreds of support resources created to ensure you will thrive at the Institute. Pass No Record, office hours, and student support services, for example, are available for you to capitalize on, and you should use those resources to the utmost extent. 2020 has proven to be a hectic year. As a country, we are facing a moment of national reckoning, reconciling our centuries-long history with our present, and hopefully crafting a future that we can all be proud of. As a land-grant institution, MIT sits on the unceded territory of the Wampanoag Nation, and calls for self-reflection hit home for us. We are also reflecting on our own history of perpetuating systems of oppression, and are pushing ourselves to be more supportive of our students, staff, and faculty who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color. As we all fight the plague that is racism, we are also in a severe battle against COVID-19 and larger attacks on the credibility of science. In this new academic year, with most of us off campus, we must ensure that we are doing our part to contribute to our community. Whether it be joining a lab to help produce PPE, frequently washing our hands, or simply saying no to the party next door. Whether you fell in love with MIT through the Olympiad scene, from watching Good Will Hunting, or through the Questbridge program, we are excited to welcome you into our home. Personally, I fell in love with the Institute as a participant in the MIT Online Science, Technology, and Engineering community, also known as MOSTech. Despite the MOSTech preview into MIT culture, my understanding of what truly made MIT special was significantly limited when I, as an incredibly stressed out high school senior, learned that I had been deferred. As a first year, I entered MIT with internalized self-doubt, which very quickly manifested itself into full-blown imposter syndrome. Once fully integrated into the MIT community, I learned how much more there was to the MIT experience, and I was able to place academic success and rankings in context. The most rewarding part of attending MIT is the opportunity to give back to others and leverage our resources to have an impact on the world. After exploring different opportunities, I was able to find my own sense of purpose within the MIT community as an advocate for others driving policy change, making the institute I love the best it can be through affinity groups like the Black Student Union, and most recently through student government and the Undergraduate Association. Together, we are learning to get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations and embracing our failures as a vital part of the learning process. Understanding that our dance groups, robotics teams, chocolate tasting clubs, and countless other activities are essential for securing our well-being and are just important to our development as the general institute requirements. In our incredibly diverse community, you may find yourself helping to test the newest vaccine, tackling the racial wealth gap, or working towards a better Urdish number. You may also be perfecting a new baking recipe, crocheting a cute top, or watching the latest anime, and we are equally excited to welcome every aspect of you into our community. Once again, congratulations, and the Undergraduate Association is beyond thrilled to have you. Thank you for your time.
Hello. To our newest students and families, welcome to MIT. And to our sophomores, juniors, and seniors that are joining us, welcome back to class. I'm Marty Schmidt, and I serve as MIT's provost. Fortunately, most people don't know what a provost does, but in simple terms, the deans of the 5 schools and the College of Computing report to me, and I have responsibility for the academic budget of the Institute. Beyond serving in this administrative role, I've been a faculty member in the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Department at MIT for 32 years, and my own research is in the area of micro and nanotechnology. Today, it's a real pleasure for me to host a conversation among 3 of my faculty colleagues here at MIT, all of whom are MIT alumni. Caitlin Mueller, who's from the Department of Architecture, Kripa Varanasi from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and Dina Katabi from the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. So I'd like to start us off with some introductions, and with apologies that this will be very brief as we have a limited time together. So maybe we'll start with Caitlin. Caitlin, can I ask you to give us the 60-second summary of your research and the subjects you teach?
Absolutely. So as Marty said, I'm Caitlin Mueller, and I'm faculty here at MIT in the Department of Architecture, and I have a joint appointment in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. And in my work, I focus on structural systems for buildings and infrastructure, and in particular, I'm interested in how we design them. In my work, I develop computational techniques and tools to improve design processes for these structural systems to make them higher performance, more efficient, and less impactful in the global climate change crisis. This is a challenge because architectural and building design requires both creativity and human ingenuity, but also this information about performance and simulation. And so a lot of my work is about how we develop bridges between these 2 types of design methods and how we collaborate also across disciplines between architects and engineers. And I apply those ideas and those techniques in both my research. I lead a group called Digital Structures, and also in my teaching in the Departments of Architecture and Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Thanks, Caitlin. Kripa, do you want to go next?
Yes. So first of all, congratulations to everyone. You should all be very proud of this remarkable achievement. So I'm a professor in mechanical engineering. My research revolves around interfaces and interfacial phenomena. Interfaces are the boundary between 2 phases of matter. And pretty much every important transport processes like mass, momentum, energy, or charge transfer, or even biological interactions are bottlenecked at interfaces. And so we fundamentally change them to improve efficiency in energy, water, agriculture, as well as medicine. And I also love translating research and think about scale up and manufacturing to take them to market. And I teach a core undergraduate class. It's a thermal fluids engineering one where we cover thermodynamics, heat transfer, and fluid mechanics simultaneously. It's a very foundational class for understanding and also designing various processes that drive our world. So welcome again.
Thanks, Kripa. And Dina, to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dina Katabi. I'm professor in electrical engineering and computer science. And my research is in the area of digital health and wireless sensing. So I design new sensing technologies that can use wireless signals in the environment to get your breathing, your heartbeat, your sleep, your activities without asking you to wear any wearables on your body. So we call them the invisibles. And I also do research more generally in the area of wireless technology and communications. As for what I teach an undergraduate class called 6UAR. And this class is about teaching our MIT undergraduates how to do research and what are the interesting research problems, how to think about those problems, and also how to express themselves and explain those problems and write papers about them.
Great. Well, thanks for those introductions. So what I want to do, folks, is just ask you a couple of different questions, and we'll go back and forth on that and get to learn a lot more about what you do and get the benefit of your perspectives. So Caitlin, if I could start with you. You were actually once an undergraduate at MIT. So for the folks watching this, you've had a shared experience. Maybe you could share what surprised you when you arrived at MIT and how did you adjust to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I was an undergraduate here at MIT in course 4. feels like a while ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. And it was definitely a surprising experience. I think many people who come to MIT as freshmen, of course, excel in areas like math and science and have a lot of experience doing well in classes in high school. But what really was surprising and really exciting for me at MIT was the ways that those concepts are explored so creatively and in such innovative ways. The traditional concepts of disciplines that, you know, departments and majors, of course, exist at MIT, but it's also a very fluid place where it's very easy to go between disciplines, to think about connections between different areas of study, and to collaborate with people from a lot of different areas. And so that was very different than my high school experience. And it was also very, it was kind of this whole new landscape and this new world of possibilities for developing these kinds of connections. So for example, in my work, I developed a big passion for the intersection of architectural design and structural engineering. And I did that through classes and through research and through a lot of interaction with professors. And that really led to where I am today and to the research and teaching that I do.
That's great. Kripa, I want to go to you next, and maybe we could talk about teaching and learning in a COVID era. How would you encourage students to be agents of their own learning this year? And can you offer advice for making connections with faculty members?
Yeah, it's a great question. Actually, last term when we were teaching thermal fluids, as I said, you know, the shift to online teaching pretty much worried me because I was like, how can we teach these complex subjects online? But I'm happy to say that it all worked out due to great teamwork and collaboration, you know, between students and instructors and TAs. Of course, you know, we all miss in-person lectures, but I think, you know, few points to make the best of this scenario, right? At the baseline, I think the virtual format has really provided the means, you know, to be able to go back and forth and understand concepts at your own pace. And it also allowed for focus that, and I think what could be done is supplement them, you know, really supplement them with the assigned readings and meetings during the virtual office hours. So we offered a number of such things. So please take advantage of those. And I'm sure, you know, all MIT faculty will be very accommodative for connecting one-on-one and making sure that, you know, you get that support. So that's at the baseline. But I think some other things that have opened up because of the COVID era is because we can't, you know, a lot of seminar series and conferences are pretty much gone virtual. So it kind of opens up access to all of these more easily without, you know, you having to travel to attend these kinds of things. So whatever topic you're passionate about, whether it's energy, water, medicine, entrepreneurship, there are so many more opportunities to attend and engage, you know, through this virtual sort of seminars and learn about latest advances. And I think, you know, expose yourself and explore to immediate areas of, you know, areas outside your immediate area of interest. So that means the solutions to many problems lie at interfaces of disciplines. And this could be a great opportunity, you know, to learn many more areas and get exposed because you have those forums now to do that. And also, you know, getting involved in various professional societies, and the whole MIT and Boston ecosystem is so amazing. Exploring Europe opportunities could be a great way to be close to professors and get that sort of Zoom time. And also, I think co-oping or short internships at many Boston area startups, and maybe also connecting to alums to kind of see, you know, how, you know, because everyone, probably most people are at home, they can connect by Zoom. So it could help you to see how your potential career could be and shadow some of these people to learn about that. So long story short, you know, I think this allows you to get exposed to many latest things in the world, in the real world. So please take, you know, look around for all these sort of virtual opportunities. And I think that way you can learn a lot of things by yourself.
Great, thanks, Kripa. So we're about halfway through, and Dina, I want to direct a couple of questions to you. A lot of work's been done to prepare for this year, and I'm just curious, what are you finding? What are the new possibilities that might be opening up as we go into this year?
Yeah, so I think some possibilities that are related to teaching and some other that are related to research. So in terms of teaching, as I mentioned, I teach a class that is to teach on our undergraduates how to do research. So part of this is to expose them to research which we used to do by inviting professors inside MIT to come to our class lecture and give the students a short talk about their research. So now we discovered that we can expand even beyond MIT and reach out to our colleagues in Berkeley and Stanford, since it is online and everyone is happy to contribute, and basically it becomes much bigger community in the teaching form. So another thing that is happening is that we noticed, we used to have office hours for students to come and they bring their research project and they talk to the TA and the instructor, and they used to be coming one after the other. So it's kind of like very squashed and limited time and may not be on their, was not as flexible. So now, because it's online, the student can have more one-on-one time and describe their research and come in a flexible time that is good for the instructor and the student as well. So this is some of the teaching opportunities. Now on the research side, of course, I mean, COVID is a big problem that we are dealing with altogether. However, we discovered that there are many interesting research opportunities that we as engineers can contribute to the health of our community, both the COVID patients themselves and the other people who are exposed potentially to catching this contagious disease from others.
That's great. And Dina, I know I followed your research very carefully. And in fact, I think I see the Emerald device behind you.
Yes.
And people have been seeing references in the media. I understand that it's having impact for COVID-19 patients. Can you tell us what's going on there?
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, my research is about how can we capture physiological signals such as breathing, heartbeats, sleep, mobility, gait, etc., without anything that touches the skin, without even having to get close to the patient. And this is, of course, is very useful when you have a contagious disease like COVID, because the hardest part for a doctor or a nurse that they need to attend to the patient, but they don't want to get close to the patient because that is very contagious. So what we have, as you noted, so you can see the white box on the wall. This is something that looks like a Wi-Fi box, and actually it uses wireless signal, but it is much smarter than your average Wi-Fi at home. It's actually analyzing the wireless signal in the environment using machine learning algorithms. And from that, for example, it can get my breathing, my heartbeats. When I go to sleep, it knows whether I am in light sleep, deep sleep, etc. And recently we have been using these devices with COVID patients who are positive patients who are in their home, because one of the major problems in COVID, if you look around you, you send most of the patients to their home and you say, if you have any problem, contact the medical service or medical professionals. But COVID patients, most of the time, are unable to assess the severity of their symptoms. So with this, we can actually track continuously their vitals and provide them to the doctor in case there is any emergency. And as you said, we have been working with COVID patients and doctors.
That's great. Thanks so much. So we've got a few minutes left, and I did want to ask Kripa and Caitlin a question. So Kripa, you've done some pretty amazing things figuring out how to get ketchup out of a bottle that has really caught the public's attention. Quickly, what have you learned about how to communicate your work?
Yeah, so Marty, as someone said, picture is worth 1,000 words, and better yet, a video is worth 1,000 pictures. Right? So when you can visualize science in action, especially when something seems seemingly impossible, then this paradigm-changing solution is not just magical, but it's real. Right? So I think a proof of product is always so useful. So that's kind of how I think. So I just brought this prop here. So this is toothpaste in a bottle. Like it does what it does. You can see it doesn't it doesn't fall off. But we made these interesting edible coatings that are slippery, so you can get every last bit of the product out. And so when someone sees something like this, bam, sparks come off. And then we had almost when we released some of those ketchup video, we got about 3,000 companies wanting to use the product. And it really helped people understand that, oh, this new phenomenon is, and they started applying this to many things that they would like to use. And it actually helped form my first startup company and translate the technology. So I think, real quick, like more broadly, I think it's asking the right questions and understanding what's the impact of solving that problem. And I think this is where, basic research comes to change the paradigm. So I think it's our responsibility and duty to really communicate this in an easy way that, then can be accessible to a lot of people, and they can then make use of that.
That's great. That's great. Thanks so much, Kripa. So finally, Caitlin, you told me about some new collaborations and community building opportunities in your work. Can you describe what you've been doing?
Sure. So one of the other implications of this remote teaching that we've been working with for a few months now is that architecture and design teaching and research usually involves physical 3D models. And of course, we also do 3D modeling on the computer. Now we're doing that a lot more, and it's kind of forced us to really connect our research and our teaching in terms of how we can collaboratively design objects together virtually. So we've been working on developing sketch interfaces where multiple people can create sketches together and start to compare them and combine them. We're working with kind of annotatable 3D models that different students and collaborators can work on creatively. And it's really opened up some new possibilities in terms of how we design on the computer, how we design together computationally, and also how we teach. So it's been really exciting, and I'm looking forward to using these tools this fall in our teaching as well.
Thanks for sharing that. Well, this has really been an energizing conversation, and I'd love to keep the conversation going, but I know we wanted to keep the session at a fixed time. So let me just suggest that we wrap it up here. I want to thank the panelists. This has been terrific, and certainly thank the students. As you heard from all of us, we really give you the best wishes for all your success, and for us and for the faculty, and look forward to a really rewarding year ahead. So good luck and good health.
To all of our students, welcome to MIT and congratulations. Thank you for choosing MIT. You're among the best and brightest that our world has to offer, and I celebrate with you. I'm proud of all that you have achieved and all that you've overcome to be here in this moment. Parents and/or loved ones who may be watching, I also celebrate with you. My wife and I have a sophomore in college, and I understand that your being here means that you are one step closer to getting this child off of the payroll and out into the world for which you have helped them to prepare for. That, in my humble opinion, is absolutely worth celebrating. This is without question a strange start to what is going to be a most unusual academic year. But we're committed to making the experience special and meaningful for all students. Preparing for the start of the year has been challenging, and we'll no doubt face new challenges in the months ahead. But by building community, looking out for one another, and solving problems collaboratively, we'll get through this. In fact, like you, this is my first fall semester as a member of this community, and like those of you who have visited campus last fall or early spring, I've yet to understand why, when entering on Mass Avenue, I have to walk through buildings 7 and 3 to get to building 10. But the office, my office, also located in building 10, but right immediately next to me, the office is located in building 4. Please forgive me, I digress. Soon enough, you'll have an opportunity to explore your physical campus community. In the meantime, we'll work hard to make certain that your virtual campus community is a place where you feel a sense of belonging and connectedness. As the Institute Community and Equity Officer, I'm responsible for developing and executing a strategic plan that promotes the creation and sustaining of a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive Institute community, a place where we understand that solving the world's problems will take a community that values and nurtures the insight and talent offered through people regardless of the human characteristics, seen and unseen, that define both how the world sees us and how we see the world. One of the greatest challenges in this role is helping folks to think beyond their mental barriers regarding diversity. When most people hear the term, they immediately think in zero-sum terms that diversity is as simple as, well, black and white. And in order to achieve diversity, you must take something from one group of people to accommodate another. Of course, this is never the case. Diversity of research, ideas, and experiences is what makes MIT the brilliant institution that it is. That is to say, the experiences that you, as students, bring to this community are unique and precious. When those experiences come together, complement, honor, and support each other, that is what we want for MIT. It is not enough for our students to be technically competent and steeped in the MIT tradition of solving the world's most difficult and urgent challenges. Our students must also be socially conscious and cognizant that every solution to a problem is in the service of humanity, for the betterment of our world. Students, it's my hope that despite the challenge of its start, that your college experience leads you to be everything that the world needs you to be: unique, precious, bold, and prepared to grapple with every challenge that your education will have prepared you to face. Along the way, know that we are an amazing team here at MIT to support you, your growth, and your development. It's our job to take what you bring, appreciate it, nurture it, sharpen it, and steal it, so that when you leave here in 4 short years, well prepared to be leaders in your workspaces and communities. You've made it this far. We're here to support you in whatever comes next. Please don't hesitate to contact me if there's anything that I can do to make your experience better. I cannot wait to meet you, when it's safe, on the Infinite Corridor. It's an honor to close the program with the Chorallaries, as they launch the academic year by singing the school song in praise of MIT. Then, some of our faculty, staff, students, and alumni will join in for a community sing-along with Take Me Back to Tech. Thank you for watching. We give you the Chorallaries of MIT.
Dressed in my dinky uniform, so dapper and so neat.
I'm crazy after calculus, I never had enough. 'Twas hard to be dragged away so young, 'twas horribly, awfully tough. Hoorah for technology, ology, oh, glorious old technology, ology, oh.
Back in the days that were free from care, the ology varsity shop,
with nothing to do but analyze and manometrical top.
the differentiation of the trigonometric powers,
The constant pi that made me sigh in those happy days of ours. Hoorah for technology, ology, oh, glorious old technology, ology, oh.
Take me back on a space that went to the glorious institute.
I yearn for the inspiration of the technology.
illogical too.
I shun the quizzical, physical, prof, and chapel, and all that.
But how I'd love to go again on a scientific fact.